When the fantasy has ended and all the children are gone.
In his stretchy pants and no shirt.
Something good inside me
I fucked up already.
helps me to carry on.
Oh shit.
I ate some bugs, I ate some grass. I used my hands to wipe my tears, to kiss your mouth. I break my vows. No,
wait, Jose.
Unless you want to, then
We'll break our vows together.
Interns, get up.
Encarnación, Encarnación, Encarnación.
Welcome to the Chasing Dominico podcast.
Do you not realize I have had diarrhea since Easter?
Why have you given me this desire to wrestle and then made me such a stinky warrior?
I don't know why you always have to be judging me. Because I only believe in science.
What?
Go, Steven. Welcome, everybody.
This is the worst lunch I ever had.
Welcome to the Chasing Dominico podcast.
Episode 35.
And today we are honoring
Is it 35
Nacho.
or 34?
How come you're not being baptized?
Because I never got around to it, okay?
Okay.
Do you remember that one time when everyone was shouting my name? And I used my strength to read my blouse?
That was awesome.
Yeah. And I saw them knock you unconscious, all right?
Is that look the way he says that?
That just deflates the whole story right back down.
Is it 35 or 34?
34.
Well, welcome.
Orphans,
Orphans.
smile and be happy.
Oh no. Please turn this shit up. I am singing. It's my turn to sing at the parties. I'm gonna lay
Singing the
into
Ramses.
it. Everyone is dancing happy parties. This is my favorite line in his face. But Ramses, he's not dancing. He does not dance at the parties.
Looking right in his fucking eyes, man.
It's like, are you the motherfucker who came up to me and I had to push you, monk?
What?
Why is the monk playing bass at my party, man?
Hey,
Hey,
let go my blouse.
tengo más blouse. Y solamente tú, y tú, y tú, me gustas de tú, y
I see you right next to Nacho.
tú, y nada más que tú. Ojos negros, vale cantanela.
The interns are back in Oaxaca.
My Spanish sucks, yo.
It's fucking awesome.
Thanks,
welcome, everybody to the Chasing Dominico podcast.
Episode 34.
And today we are honoring Nacho Libre.
Aren't you tired of getting dirt kicked in your face?
Yes.
I am.
This is
Chapter 4. Here's some more. Will Ferrell is the king around here,
Fuck
and
yeah.
he can stop by anytime.
Anytime.
I'm gonna get an extension cord and make myself sexy.
Interns, come on.
Buddy.
Jackie Lou.
Semi-bro, baby.
Everyone wants us to win this game. I'll burn your house down.
Shouts down the
Fuck
street.
you, Claire's promoting. Everybody love everybody.
This podcast is rated PG-13. Why?
For fuck. You must listen to it at maximum volume, just like the Velvet Goldmine soundtrack. Because this is a rock and roll podcast.
And for new listeners who might not understand what the Inception train is all about, D, what is it about?
Well, first of all, At Chasing Dominico was reviewed as a runaway train.
Interns,
But in a good way! That was the inspiration for
Right,
it, too.
right.
And it's to bring everybody into
This is
my
great,
dream,
yeah.
to blast off to planet Tolmac.
Tolmac family.
Tolmac is Camelot backwards,
Right.
where you can be your alter ego and feel like your best self for an hour. It's an invitation to go back to the sandbox and have some fucking fun.
Hit this joint and have some fun.
Hit this joint and have some fun.
Grandma's boy.
Think of it as a staycation.
Okay.
Right? The world is in a state of chaos. We are all demoralized and we need to come back to life.
Okay,
I
Dee,
feel
come
the
on.
best way to bring our life force back is to play. Play awakens your life force. Play inspires in creativity. And clearly, I like to play.
And to see the light coming off
The
you in
motto
the chair, man.
is laughter is medicine. There's the Inception train. Trust me, I've been on the candles. Strap in.
Yeah, okay.
Next stop, Planet Tolmac transport. You like the bubble machine, bitches?
Strobe light going.
Welcome to Planet Tolmac. Boomba cha cha. Boomba cha cha. What the fuck am I saying? Cha cha. Boom boom.
Mucho
bang.
muchacha.
This is a mythological, magical planet where demigods are here and kicking it.
You get me jacked up, man.
You can be your alter ego like Dungeons and Dragons and have magical powers like Harry Potter and Twilight. Hey! Home to Zion, Rainbow Land, and Pleasure Town. We all have healthcare here on
better and
Planet
better,
Tolmac.
man.
And Will Ferrell is president. Ken Brady is VP. Don't ask me how that's possible.
All right, fuck
And
it.
Johnny Knoxville is the mayor.
That was me to Rainbow Land, where unicorns are made of fudge and cotton candy,
Interns.
and everything is free.
I am Queen D. Morpheus, the siren.
I am WT Wizard, the
There are-
shapeshifter.
Hey! There are mythological fairies
Yeah.
flying around here. That's Jack Fairy, our
Yes.
tour guide here.
Yeah.
He tells us where the fuck we're going
Where
next.
are we going?
There's even a fairy circle on the floor here for the little folk.
Right.
Fairy circle on the floor for little folk.
got
Say
that.
that shit
Fairy
5
on the
times fast.
fairy circle on the
Don't
floor for
bother.
little folk. Okay.
My 2 dogs are here on Planet
Yes.
Tolmac, and they get magical powers.
Okay.
My 12-year-old pug Lola turns
Yeah.
into the pug fairy.
Yeah, there she goes.
Love you, my angel pie, seizure free. And my 14-year-old grumpy, cute Ewok-looking Shih Tzu Shakespeare gets a voice, and he likes to talk to us, baby. What do you want to say to Mama today, puppy?
Do you think that chicken is better or fish? Chicken, right?
Chicken, right?
Fuck you.
Puppy just gets odder and odder,
Fuck
man.
you.
He comes back for an encore performance, man. Go, puppy. He's 14, he's still doing it, man.
All right, Jack Fairy saying, come on, man.
My favorite color is light tan. My favorite animal is puppies. I like serving the Lord, hiking, play volleyball.
You gotta be kidding me.
I love serving the Lord.
Everything you just said is my favorite
Thing to do
Interns
every day.
From our team today.
I gotta
Nacho
calm down,
Libre.
man.
Hey, D.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Ouija
Ouija
boards!
All right, so
Everybody that loves the paranormal has a Ouija board story.
Yes.
We all heard in episode 30 that my first time I popped my cherry of
Fuck.
Ouija boards was
in a
the
supercharged environment of
Right,
Amityville.
right.
That's insane.
right, the backyard,
I have.
leaning against the boathouse. Go ahead.
I mean, I have a little bit less charged.
Come on.
First time, anyway. I was very young, and my friend had dabbled in the Ouija before. So one day I was over there playing at his house. He set up a table. He wrote the letters on a little piece of paper,
Yeah.
spread them out, got a teacup. We started rolling.
Okay.
It's going. We're getting answers. We're getting talked to. All of a sudden, this name keeps coming up a couple times in a row.
Okay.
We as kids don't know how to cleanse, how to close out a Ouija and protect ourselves. So we just played for a while, got bored, left.
Okay.
I went home. About 45 minutes later, his mother calls me up, livid. She's like, "What were you doing at my house?"
Don't you want a little taste of the glory? See what it tastes like.
No.
That's from Nacho Libre.
No!
You know, not knowing if my friend had really let it out that we were doing the Ouija or not.
So you didn't want a little taste of the glory to see what it tastes like.
No.
All right.
And she's like, "What were you doing at my house?" She's like, "The energy in this house is crazy. There's so much crazy shit in this house." So
Interesting.
yeah, and obviously she knew much more about the Ouija and the
Yeah,
evil
clearly.
and the energy
clearly.
of it than
'Cause
I
most
knew.
parents don't just walk into a place
No.
and are affected by energy.
No.
All right.
When I spoke to my friend later, he's like, my mother came in the door and she lost her shit. She felt instantly the evil.
So
and
what was
all the
she so
power.
upset about?
She was so upset that there was a name coming across the Ouija board several times, and my friend wouldn't tell her what it was. Her
Okay.
own kid. So she asked me. I was like, "Fuck, it's out of the bag." And I don't want to repeat the name here, but I told her the name, and she flipped out. She's like, "That's a demonic name. That's a demon."
And we know
And
if you
thinking-
get a name, don't say it.
You don't say it.
Keep away.
Oh!
The sour is mine.
Obviously, thinking about it now, how the hell did she know that was a demonic name right off the
Well,
bat?
that's what I'm saying.
That was some strange shit
Now,
there,
this
man.
family, you told me, is a little odd.
Yeah. There's some other odd shit going on there. They had a...
Basically,
their culture has normally a live-in maid that lives in the house and helps out with the family.
Okay.
My friend basically learned how to kiss, have sex, make out with the maid.
And he was happy about it.
He
All
was
right.
thrilled about it. I mean, and she taught the little...
That wasn't right. We all know it wasn't right.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
So she taught the younger boy how to make out.
Okay.
And the only way that the maid got busted was that one night when the mother went to kiss the child goodnight, he slipped her the tongue.
Oh my God!
He's like, what? That's how you kiss.
Oh,
She's like,
shit.
whoa. Where the fuck you learn that?
You know, clearly there's something
She was
up
gone the
with
next day.
there's something up with this family.
Right.
All right. So every time I did the Ouija, it's really important to say, go over the goodbye
Right.
and get out. I would
Etiquette.
always do that. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and most of the time they listened, but I would always close it out.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done. You have to go over the goodbye.
In the
You
name
have
of
to
Jesus
leave.
Christ.
Yeah, you have to leave. You have to
Right.
leave my house now.
Yeah.
Happy trail.
Go away! Read some books!
You know what I mean?
Right,
You
right.
always close it out like
That's
that.
not even etiquette. That's like protocol.
Right.
That's
It is
safety,
protocol.
Safety
right.
protocol.
All right. So everybody, I want to hear your Ouija board story.
Yeah.
So
leave it on the blog.
Yeah, man.
Leave it at DominicoArtist.com on the show blog. You can also tweet it to D at Chasing Dominico. Tell us your stories because this could be a series going on. Just Ouija
It should be because
Ouija
everybody
stories.
has. Yeah. I mean, and we know that I've got more, but we also know that I don't do it anymore.
Right.
So the moral of the story. Don't
do
do
Ouija.
Ouijas. But if you have, tell me your
You
story.
could have a bin that said, I used to be another candle. That's a great idea. And then when they bring in those candles, we'll put them in another bin that says, I used to be another candle. And then eventually we can just have one that said, trust me, I used to be a lot of candles.
I've been a lot of candles.
Trust me, man, I've been other candles.
That's a mystery clip.
Oh, Jack Ferry, where we going?
These are our ghost adventures.
GAC!
All right, D, what
I
lockdown
got
are
a
we doing,
special
man?
one. We're going back to season 4.
Fuck yeah.
The Villisca Axe Murder House! Ring.
Dylan, push this axe on my face.
We just started lockdown, D. Come on, man.
Rain comes every hour.
Six kids.
8 people hacked to death.
And some parents.
Push this place. Oh, it's gonna bite back big time.
Something keeps pulling me back here, and I want answers.
Evil.
Villisca, Iowa, the heartland of farming.
Okay.
Surrounded by miles and miles of cornfields,
That sounds
you'd
nice.
think that this small, quiet town would be filled with nothing but happy history.
No.
But this place has a dark side, and that's why we're here.
GAC.
All right, man. Let me say, I love a good demon house.
Right.
EVPs in this lockdown are off the charts.
Right. The back part of this is amazing lockdown.
Yeah.
man.
So, all right,
Let's
listen. There's a bunch of I'm getting confused.
Right,
How
okay.
many suspects were there?
All right, there
because
was-
I only know the one that I know did it.
He's guilty.
He's guilty.
All right, so there's 3 suspects. There's
Right.
Senator Frank Jones,
Okay.
a dude named Andy Sawyer,
Yeah.
and then the Reverend George Kelly.
Guilty!
That's who you think would be the underdog, right?
Right.
But apparently he was a traveling preacher who was known to be a peeping Tom.
Come on, right there is enough.
The Drifter. The Drifter comes in, and that's what
All right,
happens.
he confessed.
Right.
He confessed to a jury. The jury didn't believe him.
Right.
And then that gave his lawyers an opportunity to
toss
suppress
it,
it.
out.
Right.
And
Why didn't they believe him? Because he was a reverend? Did they know he was a peeping Tom reverend?
Tom Reverend? And apparently his confession was very graphic. How do you
Did
give
you not tell them that they were the Lord's chips?
Did you not tell them that they were the Lord's sheep?
That's from our team today, Nacho Libre.
I was trying to.
I mean, how can you give a graphic confession and not know details because you were fucking there?
All right, the axe is in a town museum. I'm confused about the axe. It wasn't the same one they used. Please explain it to me.
Okay. The guy who runs the museum
Yeah.
is the owner of the Axe Murder House.
Okay.
And his name is Darwin Lynn. And he claims to have the actual murder axe because Sheriff Jackson was giving a speech at a Masonic lodge while the real axe was in his possession as evidence.
Right.
He left it behind at his speech at the lodge.
See, the good old days when you could just take shit, sell it on eBay.
So he actually had to go buy another axe, and that axe is
Yeah.
what they used at the murder trial.
That
A
makes
stand-in.
no
I know.
sense.
I mean, even from that, you know that
Right.
that the whole trial was fucked from Jump Street.
Right. Johnny Hauser is a paranormal investigator who lives right next door.
Next door.
Not smart. It's like they show the house. It's like a hop, skip, and a jump.
Right. And Chris and Ronald are 2 other investigators who actually went in the
This is
house
good.
with a spirit box.
Yeah.
And they're asking, who's here with you? And the EVP they get is
Reverend Kelly.
Who's with you?
Who's that, D?
He's guilty.
That's the guilty one. They get another EVP.
Said, in the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to tell me who you are. Man. It announced itself as Legion.
Legion
means many. You can fight one, but there's always going to be another to take its place.
You know
That's
what it
the
means?
bomb diggity, yo.
You know what it means just to hear someone say it. There's
Legion.
always
All right.
other evil to take its place.
They went there in the name of Jesus
Have you ever had
Christ.
feelings for a nun?
No way.
No way.
Like Zach in the Exorcist's house. As soon as he said that, some shit jumped inside of him.
Whatever was standing there was not playing, and it literally knocked the breath out of me.
Legion.
He was
told
hunched
you.
over saying, I feel like I just got hit by a baseball bat. I couldn't talk because I was out of breath. He told us that we should all check our backs. Roland says, well, let's check your back. And as I started to raise my shirt off, there were 3 claw marks that went down my back, and they swiped to the right,
Evil
forming the
spelling
letter
it out
L.
for
It's
you.
awful ironic that that's what it identified itself as. Legion.
Of course it did. So Zach and Johnny Hauser are speaking again about his proximity to the house, how it's oppressing him, and how it's affecting him. And
So they're upstairs in the bedroom.
Will you show us your power? We'll show you respect if you can show us respect back.
There's no respect in this house.
Talking to Legion, you're not going to get it,
The
Zach.
closet door closes a little bit.
fucking
And Johnny
amazing.
sees it. He's like, hey.
Staring right at it, man.
Who's in there?
Who's in there, Zach?
Hi, it's the demons. Zach goes in there, right, and he closes the door. He goes in the closet, he closes the door.
Fucking
Oh my
amazing.
God.
Dude, there's something bad in this house.
I know it.
So Linda and Patty used to live in the house with their whole family.
They're
their parents.
sisters, yeah.
But what's crazy is that it had parents and brothers and sisters, almost like the whole family that got murdered by the Axe House.
When we first moved here, we had to sleep in there on the front room floor.
And in the middle of the night, I heard this little girl crying.
That's the first time I heard voices.
Fuck that
They
shit.
sound like little girls. When you're a little kid and you hear voices, what do you think? What do you do?
We got up and told Mom our experience.
evil.
Mom said, oh, it's just your imagination.
The Evil Dead laugh gets me every
The
time.
father was sharpening a knife, and he felt it being
Because
pushed
all
back
fathers
towards him.
sharpen knives in the
Right.
kitchen.
It starts coming back
Do you
towards
think
him.
That's old
that
school.
a dark, unseen force was trying to take that knife and almost kill your father?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. That energy doesn't want anybody here. This is his house.
Whose house?
The guy that did the murder.
Ron's house!
You all right?
No,
What's
The Reverend.
I have the sound.
Yeah, I felt really bad for her.
Yeah, she was extremely physically and emotionally affected by the house
She had
from,
to sit-
from the first interview.
Right, she had to sit down on the stairs.
Talking about what happened and just realizing the atrocity of it.
She's
Wow.
struggling. She's
There
struggling.
is definitely something not right here. Okay, I want answers. This house talks to me all the time. It's
scary.
And she doesn't even live there anymore.
been
It
with
still
me my
talks
whole
to her.
life.
Yeah.
It calls me back, and I don't know why.
They know that they can get to you, and they see the emotions that they can cause you. They get off on that.
You see demons jerking off in the
I
corner.
want to see if I can give her some kind of closure by you speaking to me right now.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
This is
Yeah,
good.
the EVPs they get on this is
Do you
fucking
recognize
great.
Linda?
Where is she?
Where is she? That is personal. You know, you said she keeps coming back to the house.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of like me and Amityville.
Yes.
All right, let me just say, very recently, shut up, just very recently,
Yeah.
there was this article saying that it was for sale.
Right.
Right?
It was wrong.
It was wrong.
Right. It was not for sale.
But what were we trying to do?
We're trying to contact whoever was listing that house. We're like, hey.
Pretend like I wanted to buy it. So
Right.
yes, even though I'm saying never go back there, I was actually trying to get in and get a tour of the
Inside.
place. Right, yeah,
Right.
actually.
I was
so
surprised. You said, I'll do it.
I know. You're like, I'll just go. I'm like, no, I'm going. And so it's the house next door.
Right. And the house next door to that. So
Right. And the house next door, those people have been there since 86.
Right.
And why do I know that? Because I know that.
You all right?
Yeah.
You feel the sadness of
I
it?
do feel the sadness. I feel it every time I come here. It breaks my heart. Something keeps pulling me back here, and I don't know how much of it is the bad, and I don't know how much of it is the good.
It's all bad. I can't imagine that there's any good. I mean, you think, okay, the children are stuck there, and they do get an EVP later on in the lockdown. This isn't even the lockdown
know,
yet.
no,
This
it's
is
a
the free. This is the
pre-game show.
walkthrough. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's an EVP later on that's like they think it's one of the kids, and it's very creepy.
Yeah.
But it's just all bad. It's just bad news. All right, they go upstairs, and Zach sees a crazy, scary, stuffed clown doll in the chair.
If that thing gets up and starts walking to me, I am going to run out of that window and land head first in the grass.
I'm first. Sorry, I'm down the stairs.
It's
I'm out of here.
Doll coulrophobia together, right?
I mean, that's the right reaction.
You know, dude,
That's
listen,
scary.
man. Do you think that when we go to the occult museum, I can ask Lorraine about Amityville?
Absolutely.
Should I do? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
I have a question.
Yes, question.
Should I ask Lorraine Warren about Amityville when we go to her occult museum?
Yeah, interns?
Yeah,
Of course.
You know, like with Tom, I'm getting obsessed now. I'm thinking about Amityville.
Do you feel that it wants to do harm?
I told my sister, when she told me that, you guys wanted us to come, I said, I don't want to go back there.
You didn't want to.
I didn't want to.
I'm going to say something a little uncomfortable here, but I would just want a true answer. Do you think that this spirit, do you think he would still want to carry out his act of murder on you two?
I have a feeling that's what he wants to do.
Of course he wants.
Are you here right now? Do you hear me? Will you give me some answers and give her some answers?
Zach's ready to kick some fucking demon ass.
He's so kind to her, and he sees how
Hattie,
fucking hard time
I mean,
she's
that
having.
was so hard. She
Yeah.
left. She walked around. She was like crying, smoking a cigarette. I saw that cigarette. I was like, that shit looks really good. I quit smoking like a long time ago, but every
okay?
now and then.
It's okay. It's okay. I didn't want that to be uncomfortable for you to go in there, all right?
Yeah.
We don't know what you guys experienced in there, and that can be terrorizing, and that can live with you for a long time.
Didn't mean to foul it up for you, I'm sorry.
You're not. Please don't apologize. You gotta understand, we understand what this can do.
Right on.
Thank you for coming out here. I know it was very hard for both of you, but I hope we're here in some way, and we're gonna try and communicate with them in hopes of bringing some kind of closure at least.
This is why all the GAC family ladies love Zach so much, because he is so noble. He's
kind, very
and
kind.
he kicks demon ass.
Yes.
Let the lockdown begin!
We've got 4 X's planted in the Villisca Axe murder house. The first X is in the downstairs cellar, where they say they see shadow people and hear growling all the time. Aaron, that's where you're going by yourself tonight. The next X is in the downstairs bedroom, where the 2 neighborhood Stillinger girls were brutally murdered by an axe. They say they hear girls in there crying all the time. The next X is in the upstairs attic, where the suspected killer was said to be hiding out before he murdered the entire family. The next X is where the 4 kids were brutally murdered. But the most profound thing in here is that the house is consumed by a dark entity. We're gonna find out if that dark entity is still looking for this, and if he wants to use this on us.
All right, what's he talking about?
He's talking about the murder
He
axe.
has the axe.
Yeah, from
the
the museum.
actual axe. He is so gangster.
Roy joins the lockdown, who's a massive skeptic and actually wrote a full book on the Villisca murder house.
Right, very skeptic.
Yeah.
Not of the murders, of the ghosts.
Of the ghost.
It was at this exact moment during our 4th and final EVP session that we captured something that would even question our skeptic, Roy Marshall.
We're gonna go out right now. Follow me.
Oh man, this is good.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call Billy. I'm gonna call John.
A young
They're gonna let us out. We're gonna go right over there to
They're in the
capture this
barn.
audio and see if we got any voices. Okay?
Oh, you did, baby.
They got one. What did it say, D?
I killed 6 kids.
That's
Get
amazing.
the fuck out of here!
Rain comes every hour.
I killed 6
Rain comes every hour.
kids. That is insane, and that's the Reverend Fuckface, okay? The guy jerking off, the fucking
The demon jerking off in the
asshole
corner.
peeping Tom. I'm so crazed right now.
The traveling reverend.
All right, calm down.
So
They're
while
in the
they
barn.
while they were there, they didn't even know until the end of the lockdown that they got a door slamming by itself.
Was it the motion detector camera activated thingy?
It was an infrared motion camera.
Yeah.
And you hear footsteps walking up the door.
This is
and the door
insane.
fully closed.
Yeah.
It's
oh,
it's
yeah.
a whole
It
revolution.
actually sounds like, it walks up to
Right.
it, but it sounds like he kicks it
Right,
shut.
right.
That's what I think. He's like, hey, fuck you. This is my house. I think this will translate.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
walk, walk, kick, slam, okay? All right? Again, walk, walk, kick, slam! You see it, and you see the door slam. It's insane.
Dude, you're almost halfway out your chair
My
here.
head's
You're
gonna
so-
pop off.
That was
They're
amazing.
the
man.
base.
They're the base.
I need Ramses. He's the best.
They're the best. That was the stairs. I can't even talk. I'm so excited.
That was the stairs
going up to
upstairs.
the attic where Reverend Kelly was. I'm just going to say it's Reverend Kelly.
He was hiding in the closet, just waiting to kill
Peep.
the shit
He's
out of the
waiting to
family.
peep. He peeped and then he killed.
And
And it's horrible. This is a horrendous tragedy.
This is a mass murder.
Was this the same spirit we had angered by capturing its threatening voice?
Yes.
Every hour? Coming back into the house, we had no idea we had captured this poltergeist activity.
I'm just sitting here. I don't know what to say. Now you know why I wanted to revisit this lockdown. We were just talking about this at Chasing Dominico on Twitter. And this lockdown came up. Like, this is one of the awesome ones.
So now the crew goes back in and they start a full spirit box
man.
session. And the
man.
EVPs start just raining
Oh, my
down.
God.
It's amazing.
Are you scared of us?
No.
Tell me what your name is.
Lena.
One of the girls, man. One of the
12-year-old girl. Her name was Lena. All right, so Zach's like, is that you, Lena? Wanna play?
Are you a little kid that lives here? What's your name?
Another kid.
Paul Moore was the 5-year-old boy who was also killed in this house.
Oh, my God.
Kid after murdered kid after
but
murdered
listen,
kid.
the demon, the unholy lie,
Right.
okay? And they pretend that they are children.
Right.
I don't want to believe that those are the children stuck there. I mean,
Right.
yes, of course, they might be stuck there. Those are demons.
Odds are it's not.
They're demons.
Your mother's in here with his cat. Would you like to leave a message?
Who's up here? I demand you to tell me what your name is.
Everyone's
really?
fine. That's the demon saying, "Would you like to leave a message?"
I'll see that she
This
gets
was
it.
clearly a different voice than the children we were hearing
That's The
downstairs,
Exorcist.
telling us we were now in the presence of a different spirit.
What is the murderer's name?
Andy Sawyer was detained by the sheriff as a suspect in the Villisca axe murders.
Another guy.
The day after the incident, this deranged homeless man made crazed mutterings about the murder to his employer, along with several suspicious relevant actions. His employer's son witnessed Andy Sawyer suddenly jump up and say to himself, "I will cut your damn heads off." At the same time, Andy made striking motions. It was also a fact that Andy Sawyer slept with his axe.
All right, man. But this is just insane.
I know, there's so
I'm
many people that
sorry.
could have done it, man.
Reverend Kelly,
Okay.
in detail,
That's what you're sticking with.
confessed. It's him.
Okay, all
The
right.
demons are trying to confuse us.
All right.
Okay, like Lizzie Bordenhouse. These are very clear, intelligent answers.
God has blessed us with a new teacher. She hails from the Oaxaca Parish Convent of the Immaculate Heart Sisters Lady Mountains of Guadalupe.
What? I'm sick of hearing about your stupid
Go, Steven.
What did you just say?
Did you say?
I hate orphans. Say it again to my face. I hate them. Come again.
Orphans?
I hate all the orphans in the whole world. Orphans? I used to really like Ramses. I wanted to become him. But it turns out he's a real douche.
That's a barrage of our theme today. Nacho Libre. Man.
All right, right now, Aaron, it's time for you to go down in the cellar. Sorry.
Treat him like an orphan, man. Get
All right.
out of here.
Go do your thing. All right, man. Don't lock this guy down in the cellar. He's been a bad boy. My pleasure. With that said, right here in 1912, this axe was taken off of the property. This may be the actual murder weapon. And we just brought it back in the house from the museum. Let's take this axe upstairs and take it in the attic, crawl space.
They're bringing it
where
back
the
home.
suspected murderer hid out.
Time to recreate some history.
Come on, man. It's Reverend Kelly. Just say it.
Bring the weapon home, man.
I'm like, it's.
That's right, intern. Dee's okay, man. Dee's just going rogue. As the interns say, you're decking out.
All right, man.
I hate all the orphans in the whole world.
Zach and Nick are upstairs right now with the weapon, the axe.
He's in the
It's a
basement.
trigger object.
By himself.
So if anything evil in this house would be here,
I
it's
don't know.
upstairs
Maybe
with
he's better
Zach
off down
and
there.
Nick. So if there are any kids down here hiding from the old scary man, you're down here
Isn't
with
that
me.
where
Can you
they
talk
said there
to
was
me?
like growling in the basement? We know what growling and scratching means.
that means-
Sorry, Aaron, I don't think those are kids.
Is this where you hid? The night that you brutally killed this family? Is this the axe that you used to kill 8 people?
Just then, my digital recorder captured an EVP that sounds like an evil spirit laughing at my questions.
Is this the axe that you used? To kill 8 people?
And then
that's
Zach thinks
evil.
it's a good idea to lay down on the floor and position the axe over his head.
Hoping that spirit will push it over onto him.
Can you push that axe down on him?
Do you want to keep killing? Push this axe on my face.
Oh my God,
Fuck,
he's so
that's strong, man.
gangster.
Holy
All
shit.
right, there's a bunch of BBBs, EVPs. Really? We're gonna keep them in the dark.
Why'd you kill these children?
Because they don't step in heaven yet.
'Cause they're
I mean,
keeping 'em there,
look.
fucking
The hairs
the
on my
goosebumps,
arm
man.
are just standing up. That is horrible. Because they don't step in heaven. And it's like, yet. There's like intent behind that.
You're a sinner.
Tell him, Zach. You're gonna give up blood.
Sinister little
Herman's
laugh.
gonna get you. Herman was one of the kids.
Pretending to be one of the kids,
That
man.
was really scary to
Yeah,
me.
sure.
Herman's gonna get you.
It's an evil
very
fucker, man.
confusing, and that came from a room that Nick heard toys moving
Right,
around
right
in.
behind him.
Yeah, and so then he went in and laid down on the bed the 3 kids died in. Fuck it.
Try to get some more
What
shit.
church were you at before you came home?
It's a gathering place. It's a
Was this
gathering
spirit
place.
one of the victims referring to the church that they were last seen alive before returning home?
Absolutely.
That's how a child would describe a
Absolutely.
church. Just a gathering place.
It's a gathering place.
Right.
Come on for this fucking lockdown, man. This is fucking amazing. Zach, take us out.
Almost 100 years ago, a tiny little home in the heartland of America was transformed forever from quaint and serene to possessed with an evil that must have sprouted from the depths of hell.
Want to keep killing? Push this axe on my face.
8 lives senselessly erased by a psychopath.
Damn.
A murderer that has not been punished for a crime that still remains unsolved.
I mean, I'm already
8 souls
clapping.
still searching for answers. We will never forget you, and we will never forget the Villisca axe murder
Oh,
house.
man. G-A-fucking-C. Oh, my God. That is amazing. That's a great lockdown. And let me just say this. We're having a lot of fun, and we're playing. But let's just get this straight.
Yeah.
That is a tragedy what happened there. It's
Yes.
absolutely horrible. Those kids were killed. They were chopped. Everybody was axed in the face.
Right.
In the face.
Right, that's brutal.
And the pictures they have in this is like from 1912. So
Yeah.
the drawings, I mean, they're really creepy in itself. But
Yeah.
this is terrible.
Yeah.
But what a lockdown! Right, GAC family?
Right on,
All right, so listen, it was Reverend Kelly.
Yes.
The gathering place, he was there.
Yes.
He beat them home.
He saw them there and he picked them out.
Right. It wasn't
Yeah.
Andy, the crazy deranged
No,
guy,
no.
the day after these murders happened. And because he's crazy, he's deranged, he heard about it, so now he's talking about chopping
Sure, of
everybody
course,
up.
of
It was the
course.
Reverend, they were there, he was there, he beat them home, and he killed them. And that is who it is.
Yeah.
Why don't they just announce it to the world so everybody will know that this is the piece of shit that did it? I don't care. He's the piece of shit that did it. Give the family some justice and let's
Yeah.
name the murderer once and for all.
Yeah, man.
Ghost Adventures has to go back there.
Hell yeah, man.
GAC family, who do you think the murderer is? A, Senator Frank Jones, B, Crazy Andy,
Nice.
or C, Reverend Kelly? We all know I think
Yeah, we
C.
know.
So
Yeah,
tell me
absolutely.
at Chasing Dominico or on the blog.
Leave it at DominicoArtist.com. Leave it on the show blog right beneath there. We'll love to hear what you want to hear.
It's C. And if you don't agree with me, then fuck you.
I'm Ricky Bobby. You don't chew Big Red.
Fuck
Yeah.
you. Ricky Bobby.
If you ain't first, you're last.
First or last, baby.
Realize the implications of your actions right now?
What's the implication mean?
Implications mean. I say that that shit all the time.
You do all the time.
Doesn't matter where it is, whenever I hear that word, I'm like, what's implications mean? Ricky Bobby.
Why did Ricky Bobby stop by, dude?
Why? Because this is chapter 4. Here's some more, and Will Ferrell can stop by anytime.
Hey! The interns love that shit.
But seriously, man, they have to go back to the Axe House. They have to go back to Lizzie Borden, and they have to go back to Saddam's rectory.
Fuck.
There's some unfinished business everywhere.
Yeah, I know. GAC fan would love
I could
to
see them doing
man.
that. I think they would want to go.
Yeah.
It's the perfect trifecta. The best and worst things happen in threes.
They do, man.
That's why I'm so excited about Aftershocks on April 26th.
The new series.
Hosted by Zach Bagans.
Yeah.
Who's up first on that?
A great one. Bobby Mackey and Brookdale Lodge.
That's probably why Bobby Mackey retweeted. I was having a conversation last week with Melody, Joella, Miranda, and Callie.
Yeah.
I'll be giving them shout outs because they were why I wanted to do the Axe Murder House. We were talking. And anyway, so we mentioned Bobby Mackey, and he retweeted the conversation. And then the next day we're like, did you see that Bobby Mackey retweeted us? And he retweeted that.
I mean, just stop and think, like, how bizarre a year ago would it be if you thought, hey, man, Bobby Mackey's going to be retweeting my shit.
You're a great American. This nation owes you a huge debt.
This is so cool.
Now
Shut the fuck up and let me do my job. My job.
That's a mystery clip.
So I really hope they go to Saddam's rectory. I mean,
They
I've been
have to.
itching for that. I want to know the update on that couple, man. I still can't get over that face they saw, that picture. All right, Netherworld, that was good too, going into the catacombs.
Yeah.
Would you have gone down with those guys,
No.
the illegal guys?
No.
It was
the first reaction when Zach walked around the corner and
was
started
the right
speaking-
one.
Yeah,
He
he's
knew.
like, maybe this is a little sketchy.
Yeah, these guys were a little iffy, but
Yeah.
the girl, he was so good to her, so protective.
Yeah.
That's why we all love Zach.
Going
Well,
down
that's
with-
one of the many reasons why we love Zach.
Right.
He was very protective of her.
Yeah, going down with the cataphiles.
Who do you think stole the cameras? The assholes that took them down.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
Absolutely.
Drinking.
Right, of course. So like, hey, wait a minute. These guys have a lot of expensive camera equipment. We're just going to follow them through the tunnels that we know like the back of our hand and fucking
then we're
take
gonna
their
steal
shit.
their shit.
Yeah, steal their shit and sell it. Buy more booze.
Going close, not that easy. It's political,
It is
obviously.
political, obviously.
They cut my hairs, okay?
Okay.
You gave them permission to hurt me like this.
Again.
They cut my hairs, okay?
Okay.
You gave them permission to hurt me like this.
Steven!
That's what you get for going down in the catacombs with them. One more time. Come on.
They cut my hairs, okay? You gave them permission to hurt me like this.
I love Steven, man.
So that's from our theme today, Nacho Libre.
All right, I want to give a horror movie recommendation. It's
Okay.
called Contracted.
Do not come into contact with anyone until we can determine what it is we're dealing with.
They never ever listen to their doctors.
I couldn't even watch the trailer, man. That was horrible.
And it's extremely. I wasn't gonna like
I didn't
suggest
see
it
it. I didn't
because
see it.
because it's so disturbing. But it's like
Yeah.
no, but that's what you want. And if you love zombies,
Right.
listen. It's so disturbing. It's just. I don't even want to say anything about it, guys. I'm just recommending see it. See Contracted, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And I want to remind you to watch the horror documentary, The Haunted Boy.
Yeah,
and
that
that's
was
on
great.
that's on Amazon. But a lot of people from the Ghost Adventures lockdown at Exorcist House
Yes.
being interviewed and talking. There's a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
So there's a lot of information. You find more about the real story of The Exorcist. It's really scary and disturbing.
very
And I'm
disturbing.
really, really angry that I don't own it yet. Okay, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, everyone needs to see the horror documentaries Cropsy
Yeah.
and Killer Legends.
Yeah,
Cropsy's
man.
on Netflix. Hopefully, Killer Legends will be on
Wait till
Netflix soon.
Netflix.
Right, and they were playing it on Chiller TV.
Yeah.
Again, guys, we're not like sponsors or anything. I only recommend the things that I love, and I'm trying to spread the love. And as far as the Occult Museum, Lorraine Warren's Occult
Yes.
Museum, we are going,
We're
guys.
going, man.
Doesn't seem like we're gonna make the May thing because I'm just fucking broke, but we are going,
go.
and I will. Big step in front of Annabelle.
You heard it here first.
Okay, Aaron. I tweeted out my pic of my Ron Burgundy doll.
Yeah, that's great.
Big step in.
step,
I haven't
right.
gotten any love back.
But you still
I'm
did it.
waiting for
If
it.
the man had ejaculated and then punched you in the face, we'd have a real good shot at catching it.
What? That's a mystery clip.
Come on, orphans.
You
Get
know
the
what
fuck
time
up.
it is. It's evolution. Revolution. Bring your You hear this? This is serious this music. You know why? Because I'm seriously pissed off.
He's pissed.
We are going to get really fucking serious
Oh,
today. We
yeah.
are talking about bullying.
Bullying.
Cyberbullying.
Yeah.
This is the round table where we sit down and we speak our truth.
Yeah.
I got you jacked up,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
now
yeah.
I gotta ask you to jack down.
Okay, all right.
Jacked up as far as your feelings and what's
Yeah.
going on, because this is serious. But again, in Evolution Revolution, we ask everybody to keep it down so we can sit down
Just let the
we,
emotions and
and we
feelings
can
go.
have a serious conversation.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, yeah.
You won't be hearing any Nacho Libre quotes going on in this particular section of Evolution Revolution. You will later on.
Right, of course.
This is about cyberbullying and abuse
Extreme
of
cyberbullying,
animals.
yeah.
This happened in Riverdale, New York. I'm going to call her a bully bitch. Goes to
Okay.
shelters,
Right.
gets cats,
Right.
and then releases them into a park, a public park.
By her home.
By her home, but is calling it a what?
A feral cat community
Right.
that she is hosting and loving
Right.
in her mind.
It's not a feral cat community.
No.
She thinks she's on a farm or some
Right,
shit.
right.
So basically what she does is go and like feed them every day and something.
Right.
That's not sheltering.
No.
That's not making sure they're safe and
Not at
healthy.
all,
Right.
man.
Okay, so
Takes 'em out of a
yes.
yeah.
So a good Samaritan sees this particular cat, takes it to a local
Right.
vet.
It's in distress.
Yes, and
Right.
the cat's fucked up.
Right.
And the woman vet took care of this cat.
Right.
This cat needed a lot of work.
A lot of medical
weeks
care.
of medical care.
Right.
So in the goodness of her heart, took this animal home with her.
Thinking of the pet first.
Fostering it.
Right.
Giving it the care they need.
And there's another reason why she couldn't leave it in the clinic overnight is
Why?
because the cat was afraid of men and other patients.
Oh
so
my
it had
God.
trauma.
Let's just call him Carl because that is what
Yeah,
the
Carl.
cat's name is. His name is Carl.
Carl the cat.
Right. So on like two levels, this woman, this vet saint, I'm
the-
going to call her.
Did the right thing.
Did the right thing.
Absolutely,
Okay, so the bully bitch, like 4 or 5 days after the fact, after,
Right.
locally asking around, found out that this cat was at this particular vet.
Right.
Came in, was like, give me my cat. And the saint vet was like,
Show me some proof.
show
of
me some
ownership.
proof, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Make sure
And-
you own it because it came in as a stray.
Yeah, and this cat is fucked up. No, I want my cat back. And the vet, rightly so, was like, no, this
No.
cat was in bad health and la 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 la.
Right.
Okay, so the bully bitch
Files a
gathers
civil lawsuit.
right against the vet,
vet.
the clinic,
Right.
and gets about 4 people, and it's a small community, guys, so
Right.
it really does make a difference to pick
Sit-
it outside.
Sit outside the clinic.
But they didn't just stay outside. She'd
Right.
come in with people, harass the vet.
Upset her business.
I want to make it clear that this bully bitch that goes around to shelters, adopts these cats, and then releases them into a public park
Right.
wasn't going to shelters that were abusive and needed
Oh,
to be
right,
taken
right.
out
No.
of bad shelters.
Not at
She
all.
is a crazy person
Right.
that thinks she's on some kind of mission,
Right.
takes these animals and just throws them out in the wild. And because she got upset about this, 3 outside organizations or people came in, and those are the cyberbullies now.
Right.
And there was one main ringleader who doesn't even
Yeah.
live here, lives in Texas, is
Right.
giving a count by count of what's going on in the neighborhood.
Right.
In New York here. We're
Right.
in New York. She doesn't know shit.
Right.
Making fun and saying, why does the vet have all these locks? And no.
Right.
Because
She's trying to keep out a crazy person.
right, exactly.
Right.
And
Yeah.
this bitch in Texas doesn't know what she's fucking talking about.
And she wrote all over so many articles, blogs, and she is all over
She
it.
is responsible
Yeah.
for this. Because, yes, they're out there too. Bad vets, negligence, all this shit. Yes, that's a real thing.
Right.
So these kinds of people got a hold of this story and got involved.
Right.
But they did not have the right information.
No.
And they, on many platforms,
Many
platforms.
over
You see,
months.
I
over
have
months.
the name of these people.
Right.
I have their Twitter accounts. I have their Facebook. I have a picture of them. I can
Go deep.
easily, no, seriously
Yeah.
though, I can easily fuck these people up.
Right.
The friends of this podcast are against bullying, are against animal abuse. And
Right.
if I were to give their names,
They'd be fucked.
they would be fucked. Let me tell you, they will be dealt with. She will be dealt with because people, WT Wizard and I went there.
Yeah. And we saw the memorial that's hung up in the window of the shop.
Excuse me.
There's
There's a
flowers there.
memorial because
Yeah.
the saint vet killed
Killed
herself.
herself.
Because
Oh, right, I
these
hadn't said that.
people are relentless on different formats, and now they are celebrating on public forums
Yes,
that
that she's
this
dead.
vet killed herself.
And they're even ridiculing her after she's dead. There's like several tweets like, oh, was it heroin that killed her? I can't believe it. And also, I can't believe she killed herself just because she was going to be caught lying. She obviously had several other problems.
Okay.
That's fucked up.
They made fun of her ethnicity, so they're racist too.
Right.
She was a small practice, so they're jumping on her for that. She just opened her
She's a
practice,
brand
right?
new small business owner trying to do good, and they're ridiculing her for only having one staff member. That's what you do when you open a
That's
month
right.
before.
And the other side of this tragedy is that Carl the cat is back with the bully bitch. I'm sorry. WT, I'm sorry.
I gotta say it, right?
Say it.
Her name is Gwen Jurmark, Jurmark. Now, that's listed on the petition site
Right.
at change.org. All the names are there. You can research it yourself, make your own decision, form your own opinions, and do what you feel is right in
And
your heart.
I want to reiterate that the main cyberbully that jumped on this bandwagon
doesn't even live here.
doesn't even live here,
Yeah,
but yet she's telling everybody what happened in the neighborhood, okay?
Right.
So she's just getting it from
Gwen.
Right, her side of the story.
It serves her purpose because all her feeds are about. She had one bad experience. All her feeds are about bad veterinarians.
Yes, and
So,
there
yeah.
are vets out there that abuse animals.
Right.
Yes, it's a real thing. And unfortunately, the cyberbully had an experience with her cat,
Right.
and I have empathy, not for her anymore, for the cat.
Right.
And so she lists all like bad places. Yes,
Right.
absolutely. But she's wrong here. She projected all of her anger that she
Right.
had about her cat onto this situation, and she didn't have the right information.
Right, because
And her information is on the petition information.
Right.
And I think maybe Julian Lennon's White Feather Foundation might be interested in something like this.
They just might.
Now, how many votes do they need, and how many votes do they already have?
They have a little over 4,000, and they only need 5,000.
Come
They're
on.
very,
Come on.
very
We gotta
close,
do
man.
this. This is
so
bullshit.
GAC family, podcast listeners, you know what to do. Again, you go there, read
I
it,
swear to
form your
God,
own
the
opinion.
cyberbully. I want to say her fucking account on Twitter, man.
It's listed on
It's
petition.
on
You don't
right,
have to.
exactly. Okay,
It's there
I'll
for
be
anyone to
above the
find.
bullshit.
Right.
And fans of Ghost Adventures and GAC family can relate to this kind of bullying. You have a handful of people that are
Yeah.
relentless. They pick on you, and then they go to other forums.
Other platforms.
Right. I'm not even going to say the name of the other one
Right,
because I'm
'cause
not
fuck
even going
them.
to give them free promotion. So you guys can understand how desperate this Saint vet felt,
Sure.
and she killed herself.
And this was over a 6-month period. I mean, that's not a long time.
And
that's
this
a lot
just
of damage
and she
in 6
just
months.
she just committed suicide February, was it 16th?
February 16th.
All right. That's 2 months ago.
So if this story has touched you and you want to hold cyberbullies accountable in the real world, legally in the real world,
Right.
there is a
And
petition.
animal abuse.
And animal abuse as well. There is a petition.
That's everybody that listens to this
Right.
podcast,
Right,
the
right.
good people.
Yeah, you can go to change.org, which I'm sure everybody knows that it's a huge petition site. It's a very legit site. And you can search for Dr. Koshi. It's Koshi. Just search Dr. Koshi and you will find the petition to hold the cyberbullies accountable legally
Yes,
for what they did.
right.
For the
Make it clear.
death of her.
Yeah, make it clear what people are, signing a petition.
What
Because
you-
I want to be those people who are like, hey, sign this, and you don't know what you're
Right.
signing up for.
What you're signing is a petition to hold the people who bullied her over 6 months, hold them legally accountable for her death.
And the petition also covers the 3 outside organizations that jumped on the bandwagon that stand for against vet abuse, all of that, real things, because they have their own tragic stories.
Right.
But they did not have the information.
They didn't want to know the information.
They got
apparently.
on because the bully bitch was crying wolf.
Right. And they had similar stories that they heard this woman crying about, and they jumped on.
Right. And they're the ones that made it go seriously viral.
Right. And so that's why she felt it was coming at her from every
Because
angle
it was.
possible. It was.
And that's what the
Right.
GAC family can relate to.
Absolutely, man.
People that they put it out there and it's all over the place, and
Right.
the person being bullied feels
Doesn't-
like killing
Right.
themselves.
They can't even turn around without more shit being thrown at them.
WT Wizard and I went to the park. We
Yes.
saw it.
Yeah.
There's no fucking community there.
No,
It's
no.
crazy person.
Right.
But I'm not giving out her Twitter information
Right.
because pretty much everybody that listens to this podcast would jump on it. And I'm not trying to be a bully. The
Sure.
way to get back is to sign this petition.
Absolutely.
And this is really a pivotal moment, I feel. Everybody knows that we're against bullying, and this will set a precedent. A
Right.
lot of people commit suicide.
Right.
And people need to be accountable for it.
Right.
That's right.
Legally, that's right. Legally in the real world,
Yes,
hold them accountable.
that's right.
Not just be like, oh, you stop it, you shouldn't do it, you're
right.
a bad morally
it
person. No,
happens
hold them
more
legally.
often than people know.
Right.
So it's time to really take matters into our own hands and make it a serious, real thing.
Right, make it
And
a
in-
serious crime.
And in this, an animal was abused. I feel it was abused
Right.
because she got it back.
Right, and she's going to throw it back in the park.
Right.
Right.
Clearly, I'm outraged. Because we we stand for no bullying. I like to give organizations that people can go to if they need some support. Now, there's one, Free to Love on Twitter.
Which is free_2_love, LUV.
That's a good place to go if you're feeling bullied. Now, I want to tell all the podcast fan friends that if you know of places that are good communities for, stop bullying and all that, tell me about it. Tell me at Chasing Dominico.
Contact D.
Yes, and I will put it out on the podcast because it's important that we get this support information out there, okay?
Absolutely.
We're not fucking around here, you know what I'm saying? Stop bullying, because it's trendy, you know what I mean? Let's fucking take matters into our own hands.
Yeah.
And this story is absolutely tragic, and we are going to get a picture of the memorial.
That is set up at the doctor's office. And take a picture of it, and Dee will tweet it out and let you know that that's exactly what it is, so you can see for yourself.
That's right. And perhaps, Gwen, we should have a poster in each of these shelters and let them know that this bitch is taking their pets and putting them into a park.
Right.
Perhaps that's what should happen.
Absolutely. That's what
I'm a bit of a spark plug.
Go, Will. Now we can do some fucking Nacho Libre
Nothing like a little Step Brothers D's attention, baby. Yeah, now we can have some clips.
I'm not listening to you. You only believe in science. That's probably why we never win.
Why is it
We never win because you are fat.
The way he says that.
I'll never be a hero to anybody. Wanna know why?
Why?
Because I suck. I know.
I know.
I've been gone because I had a lot of churchy opportunities lately. Outside of the orphanage.
What? Our theme today, Nacho Libre. Oh, yeah.
All right. All right, some good news.
This is the Lola update
Yeah,
song.
some
This podcast.
good animal-like news. Lola, thank you, everybody, for all the love that you've been sending us. Stupid, man. This song. All right, thank you for all the love you guys have been giving Lola. I'm happy to say that she's doing good.
She's
no
adjusting.
seizures since her medication.
Yeah, right.
She's still a little loopy, but better.
Right.
It's the back legs. It's a very weird-looking thing, but it's still Lola. She's got her little quirks and stuff, and that's really good to see.
You named the back leg thing the pumpkin head stance.
Because it does. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
As far as the MRI is concerned, it's actually more expensive than we were quoted.
Yeah.
But so far, so good.
And on to positive pet charities.
Curly Tail Pug Rescue. Love them at Curly Tail Pug Rescue and on Facebook as well.
And Oscar.
Oscar, they saved him from Hurricane Sandy afterwards. And God bless his fucking little pug soul. I mean,
We got pictures of you and Oscar. Are great.
This side, I gotta tweet out some pictures of him.
Yeah.
His tongue is out, and it's just, but he's beautiful, and they have a foster home for him, and they do really good. Didn't do it so far in the whole podcast. Really great work here in New York.
And another one is Animal Haven, which is at Animal Haven.
Right.
And that's another one that you give to monthly.
Yeah.
But yet they don't follow you back on Twitter.
They don't follow me back on
they
Twitter. It did hurt my feelings, but not enough to stop giving to them monthly.
Right.
Because they really, cats, dogs, horses, everything, and they really rescue a lot of animals from like dog fights and that kind of shit. And that stuff is really upsetting. And they do really great work. And both of them are in New York. And I encourage everybody to support your local ASPCA.
Yes.
Of course, ASPC Nevada
For
for
GAC.
Zach.
Right, of course.
We always ask people to adopt, rescue.
Right.
But listen, people, let's not bully the people that don't want to, that want to get dogs or cats, and not have a rescue. Let's not do that shit, Let's just promote it.
If you're giving love, you're giving love.
Yeah, so cut that shit, right? And again, if you know places that are good organizations for animals, let me know at Chasing Dominico, and
Always
I will
send
put
them.
it out on the podcast.
Yeah.
It's important to get this information out there.
As a community,
Feel
work
me?
together.
This is Glam Dream. It is. Boom.
D, what is the 7th rule of Glam Dream Pop?
Be handsome. There are 9 rules of Glam Dream Pop, baby.
Look them up and know them by heart.
DominicoArtist.com.
This is Video Killed the Radio Star. The fan friends of the podcast voted what 80s remake would you like D to do?
And you said Video Killed the Radio Star.
And D said
yes.
Of course.
So download it
D
at
always says
DominicoArtist.com. All right, it's time for me to give some
Twitter shout-outs, D. What do you do? Go.
Thank you very much. Okay, one of my VIPs, one of the Tolmac family members, fine-tuned her alter ego, and it is goddess of the spiritual world, and she has a mystical veiled cloak. She pretty much can do anything with that. And that's
endless.
Jen at Paper Flowers 85.
That's a fucking awesome.
Okay, next 4 girls are from GAC family. And I mentioned them earlier, okay? Our conversation over at Chasing Dominico led me to do the Axe Murder House,
they
all right?
inspired our choice
yes,
for the
so
lockdown,
let me,
so thank
okay,
you.
of course, Melody at Pirate Girl 77.
Yeah,
Joella at Rosie J. Miranda at Miranda_Grove. And Callie at Black and Blue. That's N. Black and Blue 76.
Yeah.
Bobby Mackey retweeted all of us, all right?
Crazy, man. That's awesome.
Boom! Boom that, baby!
Hey!
Robert at Mr. Erie. That's EERIE Mist. Spumoni!
He is your Amityville guy.
He is. Nice to have you back, baby. If Ghost Adventures did another paranormal challenge, WT, would you do it?
Hell yes.
I would too. And you know who I would go with? You know who my team would be?
You wouldn't go with me?
Well, yes, I would go with you. You would be the one that we, like Aaron, we would throw you in the dark, okay? But
I'm going
would,
to room 18.
You know the name of my team?
What?
It would be the Tolmac family.
Yeah,
That's right. I'd
right
be with
on,
Tara
man.
Shea, Trevor, Tara Shari, Melody, Dawn, Jen, and Bethany. And we would win. We would win!
You want to be a winner?
I want to get paid to lose. I want to win!
And we would, and it would
Nacho.
be glorious.
It would be glorious. All right, man. Everything online is Dominico Artist.
Yeah.
The website, Twitter,
Yeah.
YouTube,
Yeah.
Facebook,
Boom.
Vine,
Ba-bang.
Instagram,
Boom, 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 boom.
and coming up soon, Pinterest.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
gotta get my Pinterest on.
That is a hell of a lot of content, but Dee puts out great graphics
I know,
all the time.
I'm a little slow on the uptake. I gotta work on my Instagram better.
So if you want to connect with the podcast,
They keep changing formats. I
know.
think, fuck, man.
I know you send a picture like, how do I interact? But DM your questions or comments about the podcast to Twitter at Chasing Dominico. That's where you DM your messages.
Yeah.
You can listen and comment on the episode page at DominicoArtist.com.
Yeah, and bookmark it while you're there, yo.
Bookmark it. Send your Ouija stories in.
Oh,
man.
yeah, I want to hear
Absolutely.
your Ouija stories because I know you got
And
them.
you can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or Stitcher Network, and you'll automatically get each episode on the full fucking moon.
All right, man. Did you set that up? Because I know I didn't.
I did. I set it up good, man.
I'm just the talent.
So I should have to worry about the kind of
Yeah,
thing.
right.
Guys, there's no machine to promote creative, independent artists like Dominico.
Now
There
that's the
isn't.
truth. Now he's speaking the truth,
She's
man.
the artist of the people,
Oh, fuck.
and the people have the opportunity to rise up.
Do the people know that?
Yes, and they can support an independent and authentic person who only gives
All
love,
right. That's
light,
true. That's true.
empowerment,
That's
and
fucking
joy.
right. Peace, love, empathy.
All to the podcast
Yeah.
and the music. And your power is in sharing the message that you already know and believe. And you need to share the music.
Yeah, share the podcast. And the currency is retweet, shares, and downloads. And then you can get all up in my vag.
Get it all up in your vag.
And at DominicoArtist.com,
good.
you don't need any money. Why? Because everything is
free.
True, baby.
You know what that
the
is.
Inception train saying we better get ready for that kick to get us back from planet Tolmac. My dream of fabulousness, free shit,
The fantastic dream.
a free love,
Sounds
and love back,
awesome, D.
and glitter. But first,
I believe there is a demi-monde,
yeah, I do.
Okay.
a half-world between what we know and what we fear.
Definitely,
A place in the
Getting scarier.
shadows.
if you listen to this
Rarely
podcast,
seen, but deeply felt.
totally.
Yeah, okay.
That sounds like a warning.
It's an invitation.
Raise your hand if you're super psyched for
Me.
Penny Dreadful
Me.
next month on Showtime.
It's like,
I
what's
believe-
implication mean?
It was implication. If you listen to this podcast, then you'll probably be excited about something scary like this.
Hell yeah,
Game
man.
of Thrones, Dracarys. I mean, I'm going crazy here. So many good shows. And of course, the Borgias. Come on, save the Borgias
Right.
already. I'm making graphics out there.
And they're being used by everybody.
Yes,
man,
okay,
'cause
and
they're
I'm
that
getting no
good.
credit. No, and I'm putting out a link, guys.
Yeah.
You got to vote for season 4.
Right.
I need Cesare. Don't get me started with Cesare,
The
okay?
Cesare pillow idea was amazing.
Oh yeah, I was like, can you make a Cesare pillow, and then I can wake up to him. And now they're like talking about making it and raising funds, and I'm not going to get any credit for
No,
that
of course
either.
not.
Okay, only one person was like, "Hey, can I use your graphics?" I'm like, "Sure, you
Yes.
go ahead."
There's love given
There's a
out.
lot of stealing
Yeah.
going on Twitter. Twitter's a very emotional platform. You know what I mean?
When you get as natively engaged as you do, it's very
It's
emotional.
Right. Hey,
Yeah.
guys, just for the record, if, like, for some reason I
yeah, yeah.
unfollow you, it's not me. Unless we have a falling out, and that doesn't happen too often. If we have a falling out, then you're a stupid dick. Stupid dick! Then just tell me, because it happens on Twitter and it happens with my account, so I don't even know it. Don't get upset like, oh, D unfollowed me. No, tell me.
Say,
Tell
hey,
me.
D,
Be like, hey, man. And I'll be
back.
like, exactly. And I'll buy you dinner or something. Give you a reach around.
Everyone's going to unfollow and follow you back now.
Exactly.
This is the music for the Chasing Dominico podcast
Drinking game. What were the drink counts for the last podcast, episode 33?
And we honored Walk Hard,
the Dewey Cox story.
And that was 52 drinks.
Not bad.
Just
Not bad.
Inching back up, but nowhere near what it was.
For us, that's not bad,
that's
okay?
not bad.
All right, so let's read the rules again, okay, that the interns made up.
Here we go.
Bang, bang.
You hear a quote. That's also a drink. 2 drinks right there. You hear a quote from our movie theme of the day, which is Nacho Libre.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime Dominico says the word fuck,
yeah,
just
you,
me, right.
In any fucker, motherfucker. That's 3 right there.
You hear us say evolution, revolution, or free your mind.
Yeah, and free your mind, not and or. Both.
Both. You hear us say mystery clip.
Yep.
When you hear us transport the Tolmac.
Just like that.
Like that.
Drink.
Every time Dominico says bang, and those are all multiples. Bang, 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 bang,
right.
bang. It's
just
2,
each bang
3.
is a drink.
Every time Dominico snorts.
Yes.
So those are the in-house rules.
Oh wait, I've made up a new rule, guys.
Okay.
You cannot say drink, drank, or drunk while you are playing, or you have to take a drink. That is the golden rule.
All right, interns.
Okay, and the special Tolmac rule,
Yes.
you have to play as your party alter ego.
Yes.
If you're Sir Chugs-a-Lot,
right.
You can't call somebody by their name. It has to be Sir Chugs-a-Lot. And don't say, hey, Sir Chugs-a-Lot, drink, because you're going to have to drink.
A shot of Jägermeister.
Throw your hands in the air if you think you're a player!
If you think you're a player, add the gangster rule, which is the drink count to the Ghost Adventures lockdown we do. Today was Villisca Axe Murder House. Do that.
That was a mouthful, man.
And call the car services, because you ain't going to make it home.
Hell no, man.
This is for reals.
That is for real.
Go, Steven.
Chasing Dominico is the glam dream pop version of a podcast.
All right.
All right, D. What movie are we going to honor for the next podcast?
Okay, for episode 35,
Yes.
we are honoring, say it with me, Anchorman 2!
I'm breaking down the barriers of race by assimilation. And on that note, which one of you convicts with the longest record can pass me the mashed potatoes?
Oh my God!
Go, Ron,
you
Bernie.
have until the next full moon,
Yeah.
which is May 14th,
Wednesday,
to
May 14th.
watch Anchorman 2.
Yeah.
There's Jack Ferry.
Yeah.
It must be time to depart from planet Tolmac, the after party,
Through Wonderland.
back to Earth, where
Yes.
the after
After
party
party.
is at DominicoArtist.com.
Yeah.
Bookmark it,
Bookmark
baby.
it.
Smell cookies. I am Nacho, the luchador.
Yeah, baby.
Today I'm going to sing at
A
the
special
party.
version for you guys.
I sneak in past the guards and then I sing inside the party.
Come on, interns.
I'm not supposed to be here, but I'm singing at the party. No one ever stopped me from the singing at the party.
Let's go for the outtakes.
I know it's fun to listen. And I smiled right to the face, or a punch to the face.
Elbow to the face.
But you cannot do it.
Cannot do it.
It's written in the Bible.
What about me?
What about you, man?
I don't think I can leave you.
Good luck.
I think I know someone who can help you.
Yeah?
The Lord?
The Lord?
No.
Wow.
He's a water gypsy.
Why did I think of that?
Those eggs were alive.
Hey,
Alive!
everybody.
They give me no eagle powers! They give me no nutrients!
He's pissed.
The orphans love that shit.
When you are mad, sometimes you wear stretchy pants in your room. It's for fun.
What?
I couldn't have anybody see my face, Steven.
You are always complaining of never having priestly duties. Here is your big duty.
God be with you. Bless you.
Anyways,
Ignores a nun.
have I
man.
focused too much on my boots and all my fame and my stretchy pants?
Oh, it's the confession
Maybe
from
you want me to
Nacho.
fight and give everything I win to the little ones who have nothing, so they can have better foods and a better
It's
life.
a resting
Okay.
servant of the Lord,
Yeah,
Nacho.
right.
Tonight at the battle jam.
Bless
I
your
know that
mission.
you bless my mission and that you want me to be a wrestling servant of you.
Yeah.
I smell cookies.
This has been episode 34.
I
hate all the orphans in the whole world.
On the Jason Dominico podcast.
You stay cookies. You stay classy, planet Earth.
And thanks for stopping by.
But mostly,
So you want to make a name for yourself, orphans.
don't just have a good night.
Orphans,
Have an American
Your faith will return, just as sure as the sun will rise.
Sounds like a long shot.